One of the questions we're always being asked is about crime, and yes, we do have crime in this region, and yes, Cabrera has crime. I'd actually challenge somebody to find a place that doesn't, and I don't think that's going to be a successful challenge on their behalf. But I want to delve into this a little bit further. Not trying to sugarcoat anything, I'm just going to tell it like it is. There are break-and-enters and there are the occasional violent crime. And over the last 4.5 years, crime has increased a little bit. And I challenge you to find a place that it hasn't. See, it goes back to what degree will I be affected? I keep on bringing that up because it's so vital for you to understand this. For example, look what's happened to Europe over the last 4.5 years. There are entire regions, because of the refugee issue, that they cannot even get out of their own apartments. They're filming, they're sending me films from their balconies. They can't even make it to a grocery store. It's becoming an extremely dangerous challenge just to get out, go 2 blocks to the grocery store to return. Let's look a little bit about America. Since Labor Day, the last 8 weekends in a row, Chicago itself suffered more than 50 fatal shootings. Every weekend. Everywhere you look. Now, I'm not going to get into the point whether this is staged or whether it's conspiracy. I'm not interested. I'm not going there. I'm just talking about crime in general. I did make it clear between the third quarter or last quarter of 2015 to midway or second quarter of 2016, expect to see a near hockey stick uptick in violence. And I'm holding that is coming true. We are approaching the 2/3 part of the first quarter of 2016 as I'm answering these questions and doing this refilming. So that's what I think is the question that's going to give you the answers that you need to know. Okay, we still have an abundance of our fresh food here in this whole region. We're not overpopulated. And perhaps the most important aspect of all I'd like to make about this, I use the citizens as the oil in my transmission. And when an oil in transmission gets hot, that transmission's going to blow. So if you take a look again back at Europe, 7 days a week, there's riots exceeding 150,000 people, 7 days a week. Take a look at what's happening in America. You have all kinds of divide and conquer, all kinds of racial fighting, all kinds of things that all stems from the citizens, the population's getting hot, the oil's getting hot in that transmission. Now, while things have increased here, I couldn't give you a percentage. It's not astronomical, but I really be lying if I gave you a percentage. I challenge you, find me a place over the last 4.5 years where crime has not increased. But again, to the degree, it's so much less than what most people are witnessing in their own home nations. So I always say experience is the best teacher. And I can only give you my views because I can only share my own experiences. If you were to ask this question, for example, if you were to ask this question to people from, I don't know, pick anywhere, New York City. Doesn't really matter, but New York, Boston, whatever you want, Paris, it doesn't matter. And ask one person who's lived there for 20 years, how's the crime? If they never had a problem, they're going to tell you the media blow it way out of proportion. Walk down the block and talk to someone else who's been there 15 or 20 years. Only they've been broken into twice or been held up 3 times. What are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you it's way worse than the media is bringing it out to be. But the point you need to take out of this is both are only sharing their own personal experience. That's all anybody can do, including old Barry. I cannot tell you anything other than my own experience. So use that to your own advantage and your own discretion whenever you want to figure out that question about crime in any country or nation you're looking at visiting or looking at to relocate in. One last tidbit of information you're going to find in most South American and Caribbean countries. The higher density, the larger cities circumvent most of the crime. As you leave these cities and venture out into the sparsely populated country areas, I know this country, the crime drops about 70%. So hope this helps, and we'll address the next question on our next video. Till next time, this is Barry.